Welcome to AZPM News Daily, a wrap-up of all the day's news from Arizona Public Media. I'm Steve Jess. Starting us off this week, a UA student is arrested in Europe for a killing in Tucson. The number of uninsured children in Arizona continues to climb.
The American Academy of Pediatrics recommends 13 well child visits in the first year of life.
And a new school for blind kids opens its doors.
With the closure of ASDB's campus, options for students with blindness and visual impairments ran thin.
That's ahead on this Monday, August 10th. First up today, a former University of Arizona student accused of killing his girlfriend in Tucson has been arrested in Munich, Germany. Tucson police say Varun Bachigari was trying to make his way back to his home country of India when Munich police arrested the 20-year-old. The case began on Thursday when police found 19-year-old Julissa Ruby Salazar dead in her Tucson apartment. She had been strangled. Police say she'd been in a relationship with Bachigari. That same day, Bachigari took a flight out of the Tucson airport bound for Germany. Tucson police worked with the FBI, U.S. Customs officials, and Munich police to have him arrested on first-degree murder and kidnapping charges when he arrived in Munich. Bachigari is awaiting extradition back to the U.S. to face charges. Arizona now has the third highest uninsured rate for young children in the nation. L.M. Boyd has more on what this means for families.
Nearly 1 in 11 kids under 6 lacks coverage, totaling more than 43,000 infants and toddlers statewide. Experts blame the end of pandemic-era continuous enrollment policies. Johanna Lister and the nonprofit 0 to 3 says these early years are a critical window for health and development.
From birth to 3, the brain grows more rapidly than at any other time in life, and there are 1 million neural connections made every second. The way that the brain grows and develops is actually creating the architecture and the structure for the brain as a whole. And in recognition of how critical this period is, the American Academy of Pediatrics recommends 13 well child visits in the first year of life.
Programs like 0 to 3's Healthy Steps are now placing specialists in clinics to help families navigate the system and ensure children don't fall behind. L.M. Boyd, AZPM News.
Starting Monday, the city of Tucson will hold 4 community sessions about transit safety. The event series, part of the Safe City Initiative, will share city information on transit safety and security initiatives while gathering community feedback to support policy and decision-making. Monday's event will be held for community members living in Wards 1 and 5 from 5:30 to 7:30 at El Pueblo Activity Center. It'll be followed by a virtual event on Thursday, open for all, from noon to 2 p.m. The Safe City Action Plan was set around addressing behavioral health, homelessness, community safety, and violent crime across Tucson. Federal officials say they will not release cool water in the Grand Canyon this year, which pauses an effort to protect native fish. Alex Hager reports the Bureau of Reclamation says it can't afford to use water from Lake Powell.
Over the past 2 years, cool water from Lake Powell helped keep predators away from the threatened humpback chub, which is native to the Colorado River. But this year, water levels in the nation's second-largest reservoir are at record lows, and sending more water downstream could force the shutoff of hydropower generators that send electricity to millions of people. Federal officials say they will use other approaches to keep invasive fish away from the natives, but conservationists say they're disappointed to see the government skip out on the most effective tool for doing that. Lake Powell is less than a quarter full after more than 20 years of drought, climate change, and steady demand for water. Alex Hager, Phoenix.
Arizona Corporation Commission candidate Ralph Heap is facing another campaign finance complaint. Now he's accused of failing to disclose who paid to collect thousands of voter signatures his campaign used to qualify for the primary election ballot. Many of the allegations mirror those made in 2 separate complaints that accuse Heap of hiding who paid for hundreds of signs his campaign installed across the state. Heap secured one of 2 nominations in the Republican Corporation Commission primary after turning in more than 15,000 signatures. That's well above the 7,500 that all statewide candidates need to qualify for GOP races. A wildfire ignited in the Santa Catalina Mountains on Saturday. Katya Mendoza has that story.
Officials with the Coronado National Forest say the fire was caused by lightning. The Finger Ridge Fire, burning near the Finger Rock trailhead, covers about 67 acres and is not close to human-built structures or natural resources. Star Farrell with the Coronado National Forest says that as of Monday afternoon, the fire is 50% contained.
We saw little to no growth at all last night. The rains came in and they did add water to the area, not completely over the entire footprint.
An infrared drone flight is planned for Tuesday morning to evaluate potential heat sources. I'm Katya Mendoza, AZPM News.
A conservation group is suing the Arizona Game and Fish Department over its rules surrounding mountain lion sport hunting. The lawsuit seeks to stop the issuance of hunting permits until the state's mountain lion population has, quote, recovered and is sustainable. Robin Silver is the co-founder of the nonprofit Center for Biological Diversity. He says their lawsuit is based on data showing more than half of the mountain lions killed by hunters are kittens or juveniles.
The Arizona Game and Fish Department and the Arizona Game and Fish Commission won't respect their own data. We don't have a choice. We need to have a judge help educate them.
Game and Fish has yet to comment, citing the pending litigation. The mountain lion hunting season starts later this month. The Tucson School for the Blind is a new nonprofit private school started after the Arizona School for the Deaf and Blind closed its Tucson campus. Thatcher Warwick Hess has more on the months of preparation leading up to TSB's first day of school.
June 30th was Kate Scally Howell's last day as the music teacher at the Arizona State Schools for the Deaf and Blind in Tucson. When ASDB announced that only its deaf students would relocate to Oro Valley, Scally Howell worried about what would happen to Tucson's blind students. With the closure of ASDB's campus, options for students with blindness and visual impairments ran thin. So Scally Howell decided to fill that void with a new school.
We're really hoping that Tucson School for the Blind will be that resource for parents, students, and then post-school.
Her husband, Luke Howell, found a building in downtown Tucson with room for 4 classrooms. The city of Tucson leases the spaces at a reduced rate for nonprofits. 15 students enrolled in the Tucson School for the Blind. 12 of them attended ASDB's Tucson campus. After getting the keys in June, Scally Howell asked the community for help getting the school ready in a matter of just 2 months. Teacher Laura Prelsnick-Aragon is one of the 4 certified teachers of the visually impaired at the Tucson School for the Blind. She says the community's response exceeded her expectations.
We're so grateful. So just seeing that, people are willing to come and actually put in some blood, sweat, and tears too into the place is really special.
ASDB alum Isaac Zwinger Nathanson sorted the Braille books with Prelsnick-Aragon on Volunteer Day.
Your fingers, the sensitivity in them is very malleable at the younger you are. So the older you get, it's not impossible to learn, but it's a lot harder because you have built calluses and sensation in your fingers.
Zwinger Nathanson was Scally Howell's student 10 years ago at ASDB. The faculty at the Tucson School for the Blind were also all previous teachers at ASDB, and 3 joined Scally Howell's private school after they were let go. One teacher turned down a new position at ASDB's Oro Valley campus to work at the Tucson School for the Blind. Support for the school came from across Tucson. Muralist Ignacio Garcia donated a portion of proceeds from his urban Sonoran art auction to the Tucson School for the Blind. Garcia said that art materials for schools are usually expensive and hopes tactile materials like paint and clay can be used in their classrooms.
I felt like that's a really an amazing outlet for someone that's blind to express itself artistically. So I thought that was an amazing opportunity for me to do that.
The auction raised $55,000, with a quarter share going towards adaptive technology, Braille software, and classroom resources for TSB. Former ASDB employee Marcy Albert also organized a fundraiser at JoJo's Restaurant in Old Town.
It's a small population that sadly gets left behind a lot. And good for Kate for stepping up, going, no, what happened at the school was not right for these students and these families and taken a stand.
The event raised more than $600 for the school. On August 3rd, students walked into their new classrooms for the first day of school, and Scally Howell led them in a chant. All the students are enrolled through Arizona's Empowerment Scholarship Account Program, which allows families to use state education funds to approved schools. By the fourth day of classes, students had already settled into their new routines. Teacher Kimberly Dotseth read a book to her class.
First Day Jitters. Enrique, what do you think this book is about?
It's about the first day of school.
Ooh, first day of school. That's a good guess.
For Scally Howell, moments like these are proof the months of planning, fundraising, and community support created more than a new campus. They created a new home for Tucson's blind students. I'm Thatcher Warwick-Hess, AZPM News.
And now you're caught up on the stories we've covered today at Arizona Public Media. Thanks for listening. You can subscribe to AZPM News Daily wherever you get your podcasts. I'm Steve Jess, and we'll be back here tomorrow.